Greetings, everyone. Natika here with Sophisticated Intuition. Thank you for joining me on my channel. I know some of you who are following me are like, hey, you were supposed to put out another video like a few days later. I know. Well, God called me into my duties at work. So I mentioned in my last video that I work in the emergency department, and of course, we know with everything going on, a few of my team members unfortunately were exposed, and I had to step it up and step in their place. Thankfully, I did not contract COVID, nor did I show any symptoms. So I did a lot of rituals to protect myself and my family, and thank God so far they have been supported in protecting us. And we have not fallen victim to those families and friends out there who have been exposed or have contracted the COVID virus. I am sending my prayers and blessings in your direction. Okay. Today's topic is about social distancing. We're at the end portion of the state's ordinances for us to stay in our homes, right? But social distancing can occur at any time. I did experience this during my spiritual transformation, during the initiation process of my spiritual transformation. I was called to distance myself from all my family and friends, mostly because the transition that I was going through, or the spiritual practice that I was developing, required me to do so. You may find yourself in a time where you need to distance yourself from everyone. And so today I'm going to be talking about the 5 stages of social distancing, and then go over some exercises that can be practiced according to those 5 stages. So hopefully this will be beneficial to those who are tuning in today. For the extroverts, it's kind of been a sight to see. I can't speak from an extrovert's position because that's just not the personality type that I am. But I have seen them kind of, for lack of a better word, flipping out. Okay. Extros, that all of y'all who are watching, like, you need something to do. You need people to talk to, not even just people to talk to, but people to hang out with is something that I really, really notice. And having a challenge transmuting that energy because you're not having an outlet to do so. So hopefully these exercises will be beneficial to you as well. For introverts like myself, this has probably been a breeze. It's our comfort zone to spend a lot or a great deal of our times alone, and we actually enjoy that piece of solitude, right? So it hasn't really been too much of a challenge for us to kind of separate ourselves from the world. Okay. But I think that everyone has experienced these 5 stages, and I'm sure there's more, but this is just what I can speak to. So we'll get into it. All right, so I'm just going to list out the 5 stages, and then I'm going to go into some exercises in regards to those. So the first stage, fear and anxiety. Okay, everything's so uncertain. Your whole daily routine has changed. You don't know where the next meal is coming from, possibly. You don't know where the next dollar is coming from, possibly. Or at least these are the thoughts that are churning around in your head and causing the fear and anxiety. Stage 1 of social distancing. Dietary changes. Who out there has been eating more? More than normal. Yeah. Or some of us have been dealing with a lack of appetite, right? All right, so dietary changes. Number 3 is decluttering and cleaning, right? I talked about decluttering, that's my go-to exercise to release and relieve, and let go of things that are no longer serving you, and to clear out your space and your energy. And cleaning, of course. Cleanliness is next to godliness, so we'll talk about that. Number 4, boredom. I'm bored. How many people said that? How many of your children said that to you? Oh boy. And we still have the whole summer to get through, folks. Boredom. All right. And number 5, creativity. Coming up with new ideas. All right, so those are the 5 stages of social distancing that I've kind of identified. Now that's one through my initiation, through my spiritual transformation, and then also during this period of time where the world has been called to social distance. All right. I'm not going to keep you long, but I'll go through the exercises, and then definitely if you have other exercises that can be beneficial to the collective, or if you have other stages that you've experienced, please leave a comment below, and let's talk about it. So for number 1, fear and anxiety. What's an exercise that we can do to eliminate or reduce that during social distancing? Meditate, right? Get into the present moment, get into the flow. Journal, okay? Write out your thoughts, write those things, those frustrations, those fears, those anxieties, those worries, those concerns, write them out. Okay. Also listing or writing out steps. Okay. If this is occurring, what do I need to do in order to get myself out of this? Or what is the next step in this process? Listing can be very beneficial as well. I'm just going to go back to meditation and how important it is to calm our minds during a time like this, or any time that you might experience in your life where you're having to be separated from maybe your loved ones, or maybe the loss of a job or reduction in hours or things like that. How can you align yourself or get into that present moment? Well, I've talked about meditation before, but I just want to throw in there that if you are new to meditation, that I highly recommend that you try not to jump in there like you're an expert, right? I had a very hard time calming my mind and slowing my mind down long enough to allow the meditation to take place. So initially I started with like trying to do hour-long meditations, and I would get all fidgety and I couldn't relax, and then would get frustrated with myself because I felt like I failed, like I didn't get through the meditation. So if you're newer to meditation, I do recommend like a 10 to 30 minute meditation, guided. I found that the guided meditations allow me to just tap in and listen to the individual that was providing the guidance, actually allowed me to shut my mind down and all of my thoughts off and just listen to that guidance. Okay. So in the initial process or the initiation of the practice of meditation, try doing shorter amounts of time and guided meditations. I am not an expert, but I would say that I'm at an advanced level, and now I'm able to just listen to like a musical meditation and essentially almost levitate. But it takes practice. It takes continuous practice. That's why it's called a practice, a meditation practice. So that's always going to be number 1 in dealing with fear and anxiety. Okay. Number 2, dietary changes. So for us overeaters, meal prep. I found myself eating, like, I'm not even exaggerating, like 8 times a day. And not all heavy meals, but for the majority of it, it was an actual meal that I was eating, not just snacks. So meal prep is definitely one exercise that we can do to be consciously aware of how much we're eating in a day. You can also do, like, if you've had loss of appetite due to the stress of, some people suffer from even separation anxiety. You can do, like fruits and vegetables. Just, grab a peach or an apple and make sure that you're sustaining your body with the nutrients that you need during this time. And then that's also going for us who have been just eating a little bit too much. Instead of grabbing the whole bag of potato chips, grab a piece of fruit, and then that will kind of curb the overeating as well. Okay. Definitely tap into some new recipes. This time has been such a gift for me in my spiritual transformation. Spiritual transformation is a process. It doesn't happen in a day. It doesn't happen in a year. It's continual, right? So this has definitely been a gift for me. And one of my biggest challenges, probably for the last year, last March I went to Jamaica, and is when it really sunk into me that I needed to eliminate meat from my diet. And I still haven't been successful at that. I still crave meat. So this period in time where I found myself eating more and more and more, and a lot of that was meat, I was reading Queen Afua's Sacred Woman, and she has a lot of information in there about how our diets can impact our bodies. I mean, you can find that information anywhere out there in the World Wide Web, but I do highly recommend that book for the ladies and the gentlemen. You can get that information, and it just kind of details out some food that we should be eating that can bring us to a higher vibration. So I am committing to those dietary changes now, and I have a funny story about a pizza delivery, but I won't go into that right now. But the Most High has heard my request and is holding me to it, that's for sure. So in dietary changes, I'm eliminating meat, but I am doing it slowly. Okay, I cannot call myself a vegetarian at this moment, and if I'm going to reach the heights of vegan, I don't know, but I am going to start to eliminate meat from my diet, and definitely processed foods. So these are some things that we can do during this social distancing to enhance our enlightenment. Number 3 was decluttering and cleaning. So really no exercise here, just a bit of advice. Don't overdo it. Okay, decluttering, I don't think that you can ever overdo, but don't overextend yourself in it. Do that a little at a time. Okay, do one closet one day, one room one day. Do not try to declutter your entire home, especially if you have a large home, all at once, because then you won't really feel the benefits of it. You will afterwards. Everything's nice and in place, and all that baggage, is not weighing you down anymore. But you also would have expended all of your energy in doing so and trying to get it all done in one day. So I do say, take it one day at a time. And cleanliness is next to godliness, like I said, so you can never do too much of that. However, we do need the good and the bad bacteria, because it is going to allow us to fight off viruses. So again, don't overdo it. Sanitize your home, Lysol, bleach, whatever your methods are, but just try to don't if you find yourself getting into a moment of OCD of, I don't want anything dirty around here, meditate. Okay, come back into the present moment. Just make sure your home is clean. But again, I can't stress it enough. You need the good and the bad bacteria, so don't wipe away at all. Okay. Number 4 was boredom. Boredom. I laugh at that because I'm probably not your expert for boredom. That's for certain. Being an introvert, and spending a lot of quality alone time, there is always something to do. But I know for the extrovert collective out there, as I observed in my workplace, in my own home, it was like, they just can't sit still. Just this antsy kind of energy, simply because they don't have an outlet to go out and, for me, extroverts, I admire extroverts because as an introvert, and for many of the years of my life, I thought I was just shy and timid, but really I just found that this is just my safe place, But for extroverts, they're like, they need to be on stage, they need to be bursting and doing something, and I found that a lot during this time, that it's been a big challenge. They kind of struggled through it and they were doing it as best they could, and then boom. A lot more social media activity, defying the stay-at-home orders, all kinds of things going on with the extrovert clan. And I'm not going to put it all on them because I know introverts can get that way as well. Me being an introvert and, like I said, spending that alone time, I would say that even at least 2 to 3 times a year, I like to go out dancing. I want to get out there and just, cut a rug. And I get this, I get in this mode and it's like, I want to go out, but I can't, right? So I know that there's introverts out there that, we want to be able to social distance on our own terms. And right now we don't have that ability. So when you get into that bored space, allow it, okay? Allow it. The key to boredom is just not to find yourself stagnant in it, right? So you got bored on Saturday and you just allow that same energy to continue throughout Sunday and Monday. You got up and did nothing, or very little. You scrolled mindlessly through your social medias, whatever. You want to allow it, but limit it. Put some boundaries to it, right? So either don't be bored all day. So you have 2 to 4 hours of social media time, okay? 4 to 6 hours of Netflix and chill, whatever. Allow the boredom, okay? A lot of times in that bored space, you can produce a thought, a very creative thought, which is going to take me into our next exercises. But when you stay stagnant in that boredom, you do run the risk of, if you're already suffering from depression or anxiety, of increasing those those feelings of not good enough or not worthy enough, and those unfortunate thoughts will come up in your mind when you allow yourself to stay stagnant in boredom. Sometimes, if you don't even suffer from depression, in that current state, if you continue to do nothing, you can bring that upon yourself. So you just want to be careful with that. Set limits, set boundaries to it, but allow it, okay? Creativity. So, like I said, in boredom, oftentimes that monkey mind is also very busy, swinging from branch to branch to branch with all of these wonderful thoughts, right? List them, okay? Get out your journal, start listing those thoughts down, or journal those thoughts out, because there's going to probably be something that is productive there, okay? In creativity, you can begin a new project. And what I believe is this time is a gift, like I said, and it's a very beautiful. I know that some may disagree with me, and that's okay. But this is a very beautiful gift that God has given us, is time. Can you imagine? In the collective, or in the New Age community, we believe that time is of an illusion. So there really is no ending or no beginning. It's just going and going and going, if you will. So this is kind of that illusion of time. And it's beautiful. I seen something on social media the other day that says we don't have a weekend or a weekday. We just have every day. Every day is every day. And I really like that. It really resonated with me, because that's the way I feel, with time being an illusion and it just being so fluid, that every day is just every day right now. And it's a gift to you. It's been a gift to our universe. If you've all been watching, the air has been clearer, our waters have been clearer, the animals are coming out more. This is an amazing time, and we cannot take this for granted, not one little bit. And I am on the bandwagon of we should do this more often, okay? Of course, being an introvert, I would be, but creativity. So begin a new project. With this time available to you, you have an opportunity to also see that project through. And I encourage you to, if that monkey mind's been busy with thought on what project should I do, what can I create, pick one and finish that one all the way through. You will feel so accomplished if you are able to get this exercise completed. But I do highly suggest that. Read a book, of course. I'm a bookworm. I've ordered 20 books during this time, folks. I already have a great deal of books and I've read them all, and it was just time for a new set. Plus, I really want to build like an actual library. I am a physical book person. I love the audiobooks as well, but books, read a book. Okay, if you haven't read in a long time, this is a great opportunity to do that. Whether you're working from home or your hours have been reduced or you have actually lost your job, this mindful activity will allow you to collect your thoughts. Okay, reading a book. Books can take you all over the world. I've been to Egypt. I've been to China before. I should say I've been to ancient Egypt and I've been to ancient China. Before all of this going on, but they had some things going on too back then. So read a book. Painting, oh my goodness. So I have had the pleasure of making a friend. It's kind of a long story how our friendship is budding and developing, but we've known of each other for many years, and I'm absolutely crazy about this lady. She has a burst of energy and just a beautiful spirit, and she's had a couple of painting parties for us, and I can't draw worth a lick. That's not my lane, painting or drawing. That's not my creative space. However, I didn't shy away from it, and I found that it is so therapeutic. I know that you can get some of the products like the canvas and the easels and paint and all of that can be purchased at the dollar store. I'm in the States, so we can get all of that at the dollar store. Other countries, whatever your crafting resources, you can go out and get those items or order them online, have them shipped to your home, and do some painting. And I can't boast enough how therapeutic it is and how thankful I am to have established this newer relationship, and she introduced me to that. So exercise, or new exercise regimen for that matter, get into it. That is definitely something that I've been doing. That allows us to release all that fear and anxiety. If we've been doing any of that overeating, it's definitely going to be beneficial for that. So exercise. If you are not the whole push-ups and sit-ups and squats person, just take a walk. Take a walk every day, or at least 2 to 3 times a week. These are some exercises that you can do during social distancing. Keep your distance from anyone else who might be out in your neighborhoods or wherever you're doing your walk at. So that's what I have for you on the 5 stages of social distancing. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, share. Let me know what you think. Love and light.